What you see on social media is never the full story. It's a highlight reel. It's a compilation of each person's greatest hits, their best moments, but it's not reality. Although a tremendous amount of good can come from it, like education, there can be a lot of negativity too. Do you ever find yourself looking through your social media feed for a few minutes only to feel kind of down afterwards or kind of anxious? Well, I think it makes perfect logical sense. When you're scrolling, you're mostly seeing the best of people's lives, especially in the world of fitness. The leanest, strongest, most beautiful physiques. And to add another layer, the people with those physiques are often showing the positives or neutrals around their lives and refraining from showing the real negatives. They're glorifying the grind of their workouts, making their meals look picture perfect, and presenting themselves in a means that makes them seem like everything's going great. But that's the problem. It gives a false impression of what's actually going on in a person's life and what they're actually feeling. If you find yourself feeling down after several minutes of scrolling, that might be why. You're comparing yourself to something that probably isn't fully true. You're probably thinking to yourself, man, I wish I was more like that. Why aren't I? Is there something wrong with me? The problem is that you're not seeing reality. Those who you're seeing online are only showing a glimpse of what they're doing and feeling. And more often than not, they're only showing the good and are withholding the bad, or at the very least, hiding the things that make them look less than exceptional. That's what gets clicks after all. It's what people like to scroll through, the exceptional things. Honestly, you can't really blame people for wanting to hide the negative stuff in their lives. And being private about personal matters is definitely understandable. I know that I don't personally love the prospect of sharing the struggles and challenges that are going on in my life, nor do I share them. And really, I don't think we have a responsibility to necessarily share all of the nitty-gritty details of what's going on in our lives. Not to mention that being too vulnerable is legitimately not a good thing to do either, I think, like getting too touchy-feely. So it's hard to find the balance. But regardless of all that, I think it's crucial to know that what you're seeing on your socials is never really the full story. And I think more people would benefit from realizing that that's the case, perhaps including you who are watching right now. To really help put this to light, I'm going to put myself to the fire and use myself as an example to show how my Instagram profile only really shows a microscopic look at my own life. Hopefully in doing so, it will help you to view what you're seeing on your socials with a different lens. All right, so here's some context. I have what I think would be reasonably described as a fitness Instagram profile. My content revolves pretty much entirely around lifting weights, building muscle, losing fat, natural bodybuilding, and a little bit of my music background sprinkled into the mix. I have a decent sized following of 16.9 thousand followers at the time of this recording. Definitely not a celebrity or a major influencer level following. I would describe it as being more of the bottom end of the spectrum of what you would call a micro influencer level. That being so, 16.9 thousand eyeballs is quite a few. So what kind of content do I mostly post? Lately, it's been clips of my latest training sessions, where in the captions, I'll share insights about how I approach things like fat loss and muscle growth. And oftentimes, I'll try to connect those insights with my background with classical music. In addition to that, once or twice a week, I'll post excerpts from my podcast, the Fitness is the Foundation podcast. On my Instagram stories, I'll share clips of my latest training sessions. I'll share the supplements that I use, which is Legion Supplements. It's the company that I'm sponsored by. I'll share clips of the walks that I go on in the afternoons or evenings. And every once in a while, I'll do Q&A. And that's pretty much it. Now, here's what you guys don't see. almost any of my personal life and a ton of how I'm feeling about my current progress in life in and outside of fitness. You're only seeing a tiny fragment of me and my life. And for that reason, I think it might be easy to look at me and think, he's a fitness machine. But that's not actually the case. I'm about to share you some of the things that I experience behind my fitness content that you don't actually see. Again, in opening this up with you, I'm aiming to use myself as an example of how what you are seeing on social media is usually only a fragment of reality. Okay, here it is for you. I feel a lot of what you feel. Sometimes I feel anxious, sometimes I feel a bit down, sometimes I feel insecure, and sometimes I'm stressed. All of the regular, uncomfortable human feelings. Here's an example. Right now, in regard to my personal fitness journey, I'm around 3.5 months into my pre-prep fat loss diet. And so far, I've lost around 16 to 17 pounds, which is pretty good. That being so, I still find myself sometimes looking in the mirror and thinking, I wish I was leaner. I wish I had more muscle. I wish my symmetry was better. And in short, I wish I just looked better. Sometimes I doubt myself as a natural bodybuilder too, thinking, I might just not be really cut out for this. And when I get into that way of thinking, I do feel kind of down. I also struggle with dieting at times and feel like my training sessions are a real slog, just like everyone else. In my posts, on a surface level, I might seem like some kind of machine, but what you're not seeing is that I feel a lot of the same things that you do. I also have times, lots of them actually, where I feel anxiety and stress about personal things, just like most other people. I say all this to tell you that I don't have it all figured out, even though at first glance it might look like I do. And from my experience, the same thing holds true with pretty much everyone that you see on social media. Hopefully, sharing all this with you acts as a reminder that there's pretty much always a lot more going on than what you're seeing in someone's social media profile. And that by comparing yourself to what's on someone else's profile, you're really only comparing yourself to a fraction of that other person's reality. Their lives might be more boring than they seem. They might be feeling more negative emotions than you know, more struggle, more pain even. You're just not seeing the full story. You're only seeing what people are choosing to show. Hopefully, in knowing that, it can help you look at any social media profile that you find yourself scrolling through with a different lens. One that allows you to realize in the moment that each profile you're scrolling through is behind a real human, one who is going through their own very real human experience. If this video is relatable or helpful, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. Before getting to the end of this video, I wanted to quickly let you know about the work that I do. When I'm not making YouTube videos, recording podcast episodes, or making Instagram content, I work full-time as an online physique coach where I help my clients to accomplish their muscle growth and fat loss goals by optimizing their approach to strength training and nutrition, and I coach them through the process. If you've been considering getting some help with your own physique goals, you're invited to hit the link in the description below where you can learn a little bit more about the work that I do and how I can help you. You can even use that link to schedule a free video consultation with me. If you have any questions about my coaching or how I can help you, just email me at sam@jadeathletics.ca. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.